Hey guys, welcome back to MBTV. I'm doing a response video because I have slowly started to come out talking about why I'm an ENFP. Boy, that'd be cool to be an ENFP. So yeah, I'm an ENFP. So this is going to be a video pretty much going over why I believe I'm an ENFP, not an ENFJ. The majority of the reason, believe it or not, it's not about not understanding functions. It's not about understanding MBTI. It's about overcoming just the way I've been conditioned to see ENFPs or that kind of personality type in real life without MBTI. I have a lot of ENFPs in my family, and I kind of grew up getting the notion that ENFPs were not a very desirable personality type, really. It's very frustrating because for myself, I exhibit so many of the characteristics of ENFPs. I prefer that now. But like being very emotional, being very like open and expressive, not necessarily emotional like where I express, but enthusiastic and for the people and about culture. So, when it comes to that, there is a lot of tension because it's almost, growing up as an ENFP, it was really hard because being a type 3, being an achiever, I always felt this kind of assertiveness that I wanted to be, because it just feels natural on the inside. This natural inclination to kind of promote and to help others and to recycle that. Just, I have this like system in my mind of how to benefit myself, which benefits back to the world and then back to me again. It's just this reoccurring thing. So like growing up, it was just really hard, really resonating with myself. When I was really young, up until maybe 18, 19, 20, I was putting on a lot of hats. In the work environment, I wouldn't get management positions, not because I couldn't handle management positions, but just because I guess from the way that I was brought up, I was conditioned not to express assertiveness, or I was just taught not to. And I just feel like ENFPs are very undervalued in the workplace. Meanwhile, we're one of the most competent people. I think especially if you're a type 3. Type 3s live off of competency, I feel like. And now is totally different. Now I've grown into my assertiveness. I've grown into who I am, and taking on projects. Really being entrepreneurial. Really focusing on myself, trying to help others in the way that I see fit. Still though, I still see resistance anytime that I have been in a position where I work for a company that's not for me. Which is like how I kind of ended up in coaching, kind of, because hey, if nobody's willing to give me the position that I feel totally fit in, because I totally resonate with management positions or like leading positions, with leading roles, either training or something. Nobody has ever wanted to give me these positions. Just because the work environment doesn't really favor ENFPs, and of course this will vary upon business. So now I'm doing my own thing with MBTV. Now I'm coaching and I'm my own leader and I do my thing. And like literally, it's just growing into myself. Why I don't believe I am an ENFJ? I really don't care for people in the direct sense that like I love getting to know random people. I love meeting new people like crazy. I like new experiences like crazy, but people, for me, there's always a reason why I want to talk to somebody. It's either because it's a new experience I want to talk to somebody, or it's because of a networking thing, or it's a synergy thing, or a romantic thing. I'm very hard set on why I talk to specific people, or people in general. That doesn't mean that I don't care for their well-being, but like ENFJs, like I get the sense that they do naturally care for everybody, and for me, like it takes a lot of work to just be present with somebody for no reason. right? Like for no reason, I'm not just gonna chill and hang out with somebody. I feel like an ENFJ, well, I mean, I say this kind of paradoxically, like I'll hang out with a random stranger, that I don't even know. But what I'm saying is that I think ENFJs have this natural energy towards people, I mean, this is how they can really be leaders and be effective leaders. They just have a more structured lifestyle. They have a more, I wouldn't say there's more integrity, but I feel like, I guess there's just more foundation or more, I don't know. Whereas for me, I'm very centered when it comes to people. I guess with being ENFP, it's just like, I guess we operate differently. Functionally, like I mentioned, I really don't express my feelings. I actually really, I really don't. I mean, I'm very enthusiastic, but as you guys have seen in my videos on live events, unless I'm like very excited about a topic, I don't really get, very emotional, very like extroverted feeling. I do use extroverted feeling though as a kind of way to present. I only use extroverted feeling to present, and I can get drained from it very quickly. Yeah, so I realized that I'm an extroverted. I use extroverted feeling more for presenting, and that drains my energy. I've also realized that I use extroverted logic, extroverted thinking in the MBTI system. Then introverted thinking, I try to grasp what's tangible and match my reality with my external reality, with my internal reality of how I perceive, ethics, logical consistencies. I'm always matching. I think this is a very strong ability that I've utilized. Being a type 3, I think that the extrovert logic shows more in me in my work environment than it does in my relaxed time, which is very true. I'm a goofball, 60% of the time when I am not at work, but when I'm at work, it's all 90%, 95%. You couldn't even tell if that was like really me or not, because I'm just so different. I do portray a different vibe, a different, I wouldn't even say, just a different presentation when I work professionally. I'm very big on ethics and your integrity. I hold a lot of I hold a lot of accountability on people for how they carry themselves, for how they affect others. As you might have guys seen in my other vlog that I did with Damon, it may seem that I jump to conclusions a lot, but like I'm always especially when I'm out, I'm in rapid fire, trying to understand the world. So when like a situation happens, I can come to conclusions very quickly, not because I'm jumping to conclusions, but it's because I'm finding all these reasons to believe in one thing at once, right? So let's just say, for example, somebody treats me poorly in one situation. I'm thinking about all the pros and cons, why this person has affected me like this, and I'm creating within rapid time a response to it, an understanding of the situation, understanding of this person, and understanding of how they'll be in the future based off of other outcomes, right? So I'm very outcome oriented, where I just want to know outcomes, how outcomes will play out in situations like that. I'm not all about outcomes, but more or less just really wanting to understand people and be just very curious. Yeah, so extroverted intuition is my main function that I use to work with the world. I always need to be exploring new possibilities. Although I feel like a lot of my growth in that area is refrained if I don't travel, which is why I need to travel to 1 million places this year. I watched a video recently on YouTube, I might put in the description, of a woman of an Asian woman who's an ENFP, who's talking about how it's really important for ENFPs to not be handicapped with their NE in childhood, which is exactly what happened to me. I was in a very confined and a very negatively confined environment up until I was 17. You know, it was really hard for me to explore possibilities, to get that support that I needed to grow. And like, unfortunately, like, I just did not have that support, like, at all. I actually had backward support. Like, I had negative support. Like, I had my mother figure literally go out of her way to make my life even harder. And you may be asking yourself, you're just saying that. It's an exaggeration. There are situations where she has literally not only handicapped me, but made situations far more worse purposely. There's a purpose in having me not experience things. And, not only that, but just being in an overall negative environment, very, very negative, very unsupporting for me and my other siblings. So I just grew up in just a very intense situation. And so, but after I left my mother's house, and I got, kicked out, and I moved in with some friends, I exploded with, wanting to explore new information. Everything started, I was a totally different person from when I was 17 to when I was 18. And that has really shaped my life. Those first 2 or 3 years outside of my parents' house, it's like I went from being almost like on life support. Imagine somebody who's on life support and then somebody who's just walking around freely. That's how different I was mentally, inside and out. And then from there, I just kind of kept growing. And so, like, you guys may think that I'm a life coach and I do this because I really like it, and I do. I love helping people, but I grow so exponentially, and it's really hard to find people who can match up to me always growing. I want somebody to swim with, I want people around me to go at the pace I'm going. And so I don't really have people around me that don't like to experience new things. People who don't experience things are very, very hard to connect with for me. Even though I still connect with everybody, I can find a way to connect to a wall if I could. But the problem is, there's a lot of people out there who aren't really doing what they want to do, and that troubles me. That's why I do the work that I do, because I want to help people create their own possibilities and be self-perpetuating. I honestly am not very categorical. I mean, I am categorical. I am time. In some ways, I am very organizational and judgy. There's some ways that I'm just very perceiving driven. In certain situations, I can be either super late and not care and not give two craps about the time, but sometimes I can be very ordered. I can be very organizational, and I want structure. I want immense structure in my life. And I desire that greatly, but there is like a super relaxed part of me. It's like, it's more overwhelming than anything, so there's a part of me that really wants to master the judgment factor, or the judgment description of the MBTI system. Yeah, so anyway, I want to be more of a judger, because and part of my issue is that I was never taught how to grow up. I was never taught how to kind of take care of myself. My whole family, my whole siblings, we were, my dad never really taught us. My dad tried to. My dad's an ENFP. My sister's an ENFP, and my brother's, I think, an INTP. My dad and my mom never really taught us life skills, so there's a lot of trying to figure things out. To this day, I'm still trying to figure things out, even though I know so much. Literally just putting it into action, literally making putting my life skills that I now know into action are very hard and frustrating for me. You know, creating the lifestyle that I want, it's very hard work, and I always feel like I'm in and out of the control of taking care of myself. Always in and out. That's where I think SI comes in, introverted sensing. It's very hard for me to take control and take care of myself, and it's very frustrating. You know, that's one of my biggest setbacks, is being consistent and taking care of myself, not letting other factors in my life take hold. So anyway, guys, that's a little description on ENFP. That's what I have for now. If you guys want more content from me, just remember to ask. Remember that I am writing blogs now. I am writing articles. I'm going to be primarily on the website, creating content and sharing my content either on Quora and other social media outlets. So make sure to follow me there, and follow me anywhere if you want to get in touch with me. I will still be making some videos from time to time. I will be in live events, but you know, join the Slack community. I'm going to be sharing a lot of my content on Slack, and join if you want to read my articles regularly. Sign up for our email list, and if you want to work with me, you can email me personally, and we can start moving forward with what you want to accomplish. So I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks for chiming in into this video. Hope I answered some of your questions, and I'll talk to you soon.